Afternoon adventurers, we just got done with the 3-letter video last time, and now we are back to 1. This is the spells that changed in the 2024 Player's Handbook D&D 5e that start with the letter L. I'm only going over spells that have changed mechanically with a little bit of an exception. Let's get into it. Legend lore is that exception, and that's that it now canonically makes sad trombone noises if the caster targets someone or something that isn't famous. Once he didn't have to do that, but it is funny. Liamin's secret chest has changed a little bit, in that its duration is now until dispelled, which is really just an easier way of saying it can be dispelled, with dispel magic and similar things. And when the spell ends, the chest now remains on the ethereal plane instead of being, quote, irretrievably lost. So that's a plus. Liamin's tiny hut now does not block spells over 3rd level from passing through it, and the areas of such spells from reaching into the dome, which is a big defensive debuff to a spell that was frankly pretty overpowered and not intended for combat in the first place. Some people I've seen are a little salty about this change, but it is what it is. Personally, I think it's probably for the best. Lesser Restoration is now a bonus action. How cool is that? And it does not mention disease anymore, which is perfectly normal in 5e 2024 D&D. Levitate now specifies that objects need to weigh less than 500 pounds to be affected by the spell, but does not have a weight limit for creatures, which is in line with other similar effects and things like grappling, which have never cared about creature weight, mostly because creature weights aren't listed. The spell was never really intended to make DMs make up numbers for how much creatures weigh, so its text better reflects that now. The light cantrip now cannot target objects being worn or carried by another creature with a dex save to avoid the effect. That used to be a thing, and now it's not. That's a bit unfortunate, although, frankly, I don't know if I've ever seen someone even do that, so probably fine. The spell also does not specify that the caster can end the effect as an action, as that is a general spellcasting rule now. Lightning Arrow is now a prompted bonus action like the Smite family of spells. When we hit a creature with a ranged weapon, we can cause the lightning to take effect at that moment. The spell also does not require concentration as a result, which is great if our rangers are casting things like Hunter's Mark or Guardian of Nature. The text now specifies that the spell damage replaces all damage and effects that the attack would normally deal, which arguably means that we can't use things like mastery properties with it. I'll need to dive a little deeper on this one, I think, to come up with a definitive answer on that, and for things like Battlemaster maneuvers and how those things that we can choose to use when we hit a creature apply, but in any case, the damage at least is very clearly set at just 48. And last but not least, Locate Creature is now blocked by a thin sheet of lead instead of 10 feet of running water. It was pretty much the only spell, I think, that had that limitation before, and now it's more in line with the other sort of detection spells that are all blocked by a thin sheet of lead, although it doesn't have the other limitations like several feet of wood or stone or whatever. It's just lead. And that's all of them. That is all of the L spells that have changed. Next up we have the M spells, and there are a lot of them, so the next one's going to be pretty long. But thank you so much for watching this one, liking, subscribing, the YouTube stuff, and I will see you in the next one. Happy adventuring.